Izuku, thank you for the first redeem. And thank you for showing me a sign. Always appreciate it. Hang on. I am fixing stuff. I'm being a good streamer. Yippee! This is second to the last day of the Buwan Ng Wika celebration. How are you guys doing? Good afternoon. I did not stream in the morning because I was out like a light. Now I can nap. Alright, nap well. Yippee! I woke up yesterday around 6 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m. to help with my nephew in his online classes. And then I did not take a nap until like around 2 o'clock. And it was only like a 20-minute nap. And then I stayed up until 2 a.m. And then I took a melatonin gummy because I was experiencing insomnia. And then I didn't wake up until 11. So I was out like a light. Yippee! Good job, me. Thanks, me. So responsible. How are you guys? It's the afternoon now. It is 3 o'clock. It is siesta time. So I'm not expecting a lot of people here. And that's okay. You guys need your naps. Can you guys hear it? This is loud. It is loud. Where's the volume? There we go. A bit better. Yeah, that should be fine. Hang on. Let me at least get it to like the 20s. There we go. All right. Okay, there we go. Ah, wait. That didn't save. Hello? Hello? I'm a fight Frankie almost costing me my stream streak. What I do? It's around the right time. Oh, okay. I have to click on it. All right. My bad. It is 12 a.m. for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Liko. I forgot that some of you guys are either in the US or in Canada. My bad. All right. So, oh, whenever I click away, all right. Well, the sounds are not going to be there. All right. So this is day 5 of the Buwan Ng Wika celebration. So Buwan Ng Wika began in 1946. It is also known as Lingua Ng Wika. This is a week-long celebration to honor the country's national language, Filipino, and diverse indigenous dialects that comes with it. Or, ang Buwan ng Wika o Linggo ng Wika ay nagsisimula noong 1946. Isa tong week-long celebration na naglalayong parangalan, oh my God, I can't Filipino, ang pambansang wika ng Pilipinas. Ang Filipino pati na rin ang iba't ibang indigenous languages or dialects na bahagi at ating kultura at pagkakakilanan. Ha! That's the only time that I use ChatGPT for like translations because I'm very bad. What you playing though? I am playing Death and Faeology. This caught my eye like when I was when I was looking at the list of games that we could play, I saw like Faeology. You mean fays? Like fairies? I love fairies. I love the stories of fairies. All right, so this is Death and Faeology. This was developed by Mushroomallow. Death and Faeology is a dark academia themed murder mystery visual novel set in New York City in the 1920s. It incorporates mythical elements such as fairies and their magic and into the story and the puzzle. You can players can use investigation tools on the evidence and interview key characters to solve the case. After the investigation, players enter a deduction phase where they present their findings to the detective and piece together the truth. They will also be presented with dialogue choices throughout the game that will lead to certain endings, including romantic endings with particular characters. And this game is inspired by like a strange horticulture and the Ace Attorney series. So if you played any of those games, you can check this out too. So, let's go with the Tagalog version. Death and Phaeology ay isang game na dinevelop ng Mushroomallow. We're gonna do some like Tagalog translations every now and then because it is Buwan Ng Wika. And as a Filipino, I feel like I should represent. Ang Death ng Phaeology ay isang dark academia theme murder mystery visual novel na nakaset sa New York City noong 1920s. May kasama itong mythical elements tulad ng fairies at magic nila na integrated sa story sa mga puzzles ng games. Bilang player, pwede kang gumamit ng iba't ibang investigation tools para i-examine ang mga ebidensya at ang mga mag-interview ng mga importanteng characters para ma-solve ang case. Pagkatapos ng investigation, papasok ka sa deduction phase kung saan ipapresent mo sa detective ang mga findings mo at pagduktong-duktongin ang mga clues para malaman ang totoong nangyari. Mayroon ding dialogue choices throughout the game na mga choices maaaring maapektuhan at magiging ending ng story kabilang na mga romantic endings at kasama mga particular characters. Ha! Hoa! That's hard for me. Someone like me. English too prominent in my life. Any hoodles. What is your name? I can type it. Well, it was set in the 1920s, so let's go with Franklin. Because at that time women cannot be detectives, no? Is it 1920s? I'll be a dude. Franklin. Grading first year assignments can be such an exercise in patience. I have to remind myself that Phaeology is a relatively recent science, only a couple of decades old. The university, the only Phaeology in the whole country, was finished being built in 1905. Bunny. Ah, Yanli. I burped. I'm so sorry. Tite. Oh, you're gonna get like different tites this week, Yanli. I'm giving you a sing-songy one. It's barely acknowledged in the academic field. More importantly, I've got to keep in mind that children inherit their parents' prejudice and misconceptions. The human world has formed its own notions of fairies. Alas, I find myself unable to suppress a big sigh every time I read references to poisoned apples ushering princesses into eternal sleep. A reference to the Cottingley fairies is one I can understand since it was the sensation not too long ago. Although it would be clear in the eyes of the renowned phaeologists, the photographs are mere imitations. A pity that Sir Doyle? Sir Conan Doyle? Sherlock? If you guys didn't know, I actually read the whole Sherlock series. It is a hard and difficult read, even for English speakers, because my goodness, there are a lot of like deep English in there that I had to like look up. A Pity that Sir Doyle was taken by it. I had to take a break. The grading session has taken me quite a tangent. My beloved Oz the Great and Powerful. I like this design, it's pretty. I suppose having a fairy companion does give one advantage in identifying genuine fairies. I'd say a break is in order, wouldn't you, Oz? Oz responded through thrills that I've learned to interpret over the decades I've known them. The Cottonlee fairies again? Yes, and Princess's eternal slumber due to the poisoned apples. We don't care much for human princesses. But making poison apples is rather an easy feat. Shall I turn one of them into a toad in front of the whole class to show that Fey folk is capable more than that? At the same time, showing them that not all fairies are a friendly bunch. I can't help but chuckle at the thought of that. I believe some might just quit the same day if you do that. Besides, if other Faeologists get to hold you of your exercise, who knows what they'll do to you? Chances are high those people will try to pin you to a corkboard and vivisect you. I would never let that happen. I've always appreciated your pursuing theology to ensure that. This is the least I could do. Ooh, backstory. We've known each other since I was 7. You've saved me countless of times since then. Well, you could have let me bleed to death when you found me. I would never. I can hear a delightful melody of chirps laced with a touch of whimsy, which makes me feel just a tad fizzy. This art is beautiful. I always say this every time I play a new game. I love the art style. Seems that even the laugh of a fairy possesses some magical qualities. While you're on a break, isn't there something else on your agenda this afternoon? Right, Mr. Henkel's letter. Thanks for reminding me. I retrieved a letter from my patron from a desk drawer. I leaned back on my chair and read that missive aloud of myself. Dear Franklin, how long are you going to keep me in suspense? Will you or will you not accompany me to this year's Lios Gala? Lios? You could do a lot worse forgetting your boring books for a moment in favor of whiling away an evening with champagne and canapes and invigorating company. And when I say invigorating, I mean I'm not speaking of those old sods with deep pockets ready to exploit it by way of funding grants for your research. I'm speaking, of course, of yours truly. Do write to me sometime before Saturday. That's tomorrow's date, isn't it? Oh, I know. My delay is responding is entirely by design, I assure you. I'd hate to be getting the looks from the crowd like I'm a wet blanket. Theology isn't worth my dough, they'd say. Oz replying chirps is decidedly indignant. I nod to Oz in agreement before returning to Mr. Henkel's letter. In other news, I've heard that the little Ruthie Blight caused a minor ruckus in the city's hottest speakeasy. If your old friend Detective Krauss hadn't been in the area all the time as well, who knows what could have happened? I find myself perturbed at the revelation. I would have telephoned Ruthie and asked what the story was like. What the story was like when we were children. However, for better or worse, we aren't on friendly terms anymore. I resume reading my patron letter. Speaking of detective, have the two of you been keeping in contact? Gave me the cold shoulder when I crossed paths with him at the last week's benefit. I couldn't help assuming that this persistent frosty treatment of me might have something to do with you. It's unfortunate the extensive bonds that you have with him should end in a rather bitter taste. As you have told me more than once, when it was good, there was nothing else quite like it. Yet you speak a very little of him now, and I find myself wondering if he still holds a place in the guarded heart of yours. The letter is signed Yours Everlasting, Oscar Henkel. Well, I kept Mr. Henkel waiting long enough. I pressed the pen to fresh sheets of paper, commenced crafting a response. Just then, a familiar rhythmic rapping pierces the silence. I glanced in the direction of Oz, but they're nowhere to be seen. Oz must have camouflaged themselves in a heartbeat. I put Mr. Henkel's letter in the drawing before calling out. Come in, Minnie. Ooh, what kind of voice should we give her? She looks all business. My assistant enters the room. She's careful to snap the door shut behind her. Professor. Oh, her name's Minerva. All right. Yes, Minnie. Were you talking to yourself again? That's right. You know me. I see. Sometimes I wonder what she must have thought while hearing the mumbling sounds of me speaking with Oz. But she knows when to poke her nose, not to poke her nose into things. One of the things I like about her, and also what makes her the bee's knees when it comes to being an assistant. I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he's here. Ooh, the police detective from the newspapers. Police detective. Even as I echoed the two words, there's a sinking feeling in my stomach. You know, the man who made you crumple the papers and toss them in the trash can? In the end, we had to stop our subscription for the dailies. Detective Theodore Krauss. Yes, that one. Knowing Theo is here make my words go momentarily off kilt. It's as if the magic of the fairy tales I malign, the ink in the patron letters, has manifested him into reception area. Can you tell him I'm out delivering a lecture on the far side of campus or something? That depends. Is a lie like that going to deter this man? An astute question. She's truly wise beyond her years. Probably not. He'd happily traverse the entire campus just to torment me, I'm guessing. All right then, let him in. With a brisk nod, Minnie returns to the reception area. I barely have time for studying my breath before the theater barges in. What voice am I gonna give him? He drops a box on my desk right off the bat. What is this? Why is he in my office? Well, look who the cat dragged in. Oh, sorry, that's Franklin. That's me. I'm Franklin. Not even a how do you do? What? Do niceties suddenly mean something to you? I seem to recall you packed your bag and moving out without so much as a goodbye. There was no one to say goodbye to. Didn't you find out I left only a few days later? At least it made it easier for you to leave, didn't it? I made him a little gruff, like a tough guy. There's a tinge of hurt in his voice, and I'm only able to pick it up because we lived together for several months. As my mouth struggled to catch the words hanging in the air, I feel a piercing, icy silence creeping in. I ought to break the silence before I freeze. What's in the box? Let out a deep sigh, the rather sound like relief. There are things that somehow you didn't take with you when you left. Even that oddly crafted handkerchief you love so much. That handkerchief was a gift for you. I see the corner of his mouth twitch. He's lying. He misses me. You miss me. You miss me. What should I do with this information? Reach out for the box to check, respond in disbelief. I'm gonna check the box. Maybe there's something there. I quickly stretch out my hand to the box, yet he is just as fast in catching my wrist before I open it. I withdraw my hand from his grip swiftly, like a startled bird soaring into the sky. That truly caught me off guard. You miss me. Sorry. I'd forgotten what his hands feel like. I was only kidding, although you really haven't changed much, have you? You just went straight for it. He sounds amused and slightly pleased, as if he's confirming the accuracy of his deductions. Neither have you. I threw it all away right after you vanished, he says with a subtle squint in his left eye, another lying to tell his. I can't help but sigh at his antics. Of course you did. So, what's really in the box? Want to take a guess? Do have an idea. Knowing him, he'd sooner face the whole Al Capone gang by himself and take their bullets before coming to visit me. This must have been way more important than our poignant history. Case evidence. I've seen boxes like this one before, but never quite so large. It's a really big case, isn't it? Hang on, wait. My nose is itchy. Blech. Eh? I've been experiencing allergies the whole day. Thus, he nods. The biggest of my career. And to come to me of all people. You must be at your wits' ends about this. Hay fever? No, every morning like the dust settles in my house. The house is pretty the ceilings are pretty high. So sometimes it settles on the clothes, settles on like the stair things. And and then I get all sneezy in the morning, so I have to take like antihistamines and Berocca. I'm almost out of antihistamines, by the way. I have to go out soon to buy some. He looks away as if he's trying to hide how galling the circumstances are. Truth be told, I'd rather face the whole Al Capone gang and take their bullets than have to see you again. Gee, that stings a little. Isn't that what we just said? He can read our minds. That's his secret. He's secretly a fae. Alright, so why would you hold on a minute? You think this has some sort of connection to fairies? He flicks his tongue in his exasperation. Oh my, it seems like I've hit a bullseye. We stopped talking about fairies at some point, and when we were still together. Together as in like detective partners or hmm. Hmm. I realized who is the main character of this story in the artwork. Like, am I a dude or am I a girl? I feel like I'm a dude. It feels dudish. We stopped talking about fairies at some point when we were still together. Those talks always led to a heated discussion and into the arguments because nothing I could say could change his skepticism towards mystical beings. This is certain that the chance to tease him about it, though it might be unwise considering the emotional peril he must be gone through to get here. What should I do next? Tease him, ask more about his thoughts. I feel like this is more of the thing that I would do. Like, long time no see. You miss me. You miss me. This must be killing you. Mister, I don't believe in things I can't see. Yeah, he lets out a loud, sharp exhale, this time with a touch of indignation. Dry up, will you? I still don't believe they exist. I've been running around in circles with this case. For all I know, the perpetrators could just be magicians playing tricks. But then I remember the crazy stuff a loony of a formerly betrothed once told me, and my hunch got stronger. And I ended up here. Seems like I touched a nerve. He must have been under a lot of pressure if he talks blue streaks like this. This case must be beyond big. big. My mistake. I guess I got a little carried away. No, you miss me. So it makes this case so significant. Uh, why do you think it relates to fairies? Are you even allowed to tell me? I hear the sound of a chuckle underneath the breath, like a bolt from blue. For a brief moment, his gaze on mine seems to revert on how it used to be, until seriousness returned to his face. First things first, since I'm leading the investigation, I do have some discretion on what details to divulge and to whom. That is, if the confidant can bring value to the investigation. And I've known you for a fact that you can be discreet. Still, I must ask your sworn secrecy on this matter. You got it? So, tell me about the case. Why does this seem to be a paramount of importance? It's a multiple murder case. Ooh, potentially perpetrated by a single culprit. The victims uh, chief uh, are chiefly middle-aged women residing north of the city. They're from the old money families, types that make regular appearances at high society events. I see. No wonder all tensed up. It's a high-profile case. You're telling me. Chief took me off every other cases and insisted I put all mine and the efforts into this. It's only a matter of time until the press catches wind and makes a circus of everything. And with some of the victims' peculiar manners of death, this is where the fairies came in. He silently stares and then sighs. I swear I must be losing my mind. You've got this. Now, he draws in a long deep breath. Three of the victims had a manner of death that the unit has never seen or heard from before. Strange cases is one where the body seemingly hardened into bony tissue overnight. This is such good art style. I mean, horrible way to die, but dang. Look at that. The corpse almost looks like a carved wooden statue. It does. Oh, I've heard something like that before. Of course you have. Don't start now. Clears his throat abashedly. Without finding out what the causes of death, and more importantly, who did this, the press could spin the stories out of control. I don't want to imagine the look of victims' families if and when the papers make the raz of these poor women's death. Besides, what kind of depraved, sick bastard goes around murdering women in such a way? This city already running on fumes. Crimes becoming more rampant day by day. People shouldn't have to look over their shoulder every night. It's no way to live. Even as he lapses into silence, I say nothing. It's not just the cities. The rise in crime is bleeding him dry too. Yet I am unsure of what words could suit those who are fighting in the front lines. Never been where they are. The frown lines between his eyebrows grow deeper. Considering the victims' backgrounds, having these murders being exaggerated in papers would pressure the families to insist on closing the case as soon as possible. No matter the cause. No matter who's to blame. Oh, that's dangerous. You're right. Innocent people are going to bear the brunt of this. This is a terrible situation. I leave my stomach churning. My arms cross on instinct, trying to hold my own disquietude in place. Is there anything you can do? I'm just one man. Try as I might, I can't keep those rotten police brass from lining their pockets. Nothing but a pack of lowlifes in high places. He exhales sharply, his voice laced with contempt. Fell into a silence yet again. Similarly, words seem to have abandoned me, as I can't shake this feeling of helplessness crawling under my skin. After a minute, he meets my eyes once more. You're a good listener. Better than most. Curls his lips into almost a smile. I don't mind it at all. Thanks. He clears his throat once more. All right, let's get down to the brass tacks. This box includes case files, crime scene photos, a couple of blood samples, which I was able to request to bring to you, and several other pieces of evidence. Other than the strange manner of death, I've said forensics was puzzled too by the blood samples. How so? One of them doesn't contain iron. Oh, wait, that's weird. Okay. So if a body does not contain iron or any form of like replacement iron, like carbon monoxide, that's weird because the whole point of like red blood cells, the ones that's making the reddish color with the heme, uh, it's like it doesn't exist. Like the iron doesn't exist. That's very weird. Even for someone anemic like me, I should still be able to contain little bits of iron. You know, yeah. That's a little fun fact for you. Ah, women can be detectives in the 1920s. They just faced major limits and work mostly private investigators. Ah, okay. So I could be a woman in this game. In real life, I I'm a woman. Sorry. One of them contains iron. That's interesting. Nothing surprises you, does it? Well, how about this peculiarity? I'd bring up something from the fairy books, but you'd always find a way to deny it. You're right about that. I'm still investigating the possibility of unknown drugs or poisons that somehow causes these oddities. But I'd be a fool to not go after my hunches and look at all the possibilities. What about robbery? It's ruled out. No fingerprints, no evidence or breaking in. Nothing has been stolen. And motives? Revenge? We're still interviewing the city's elites, looking for the possible motives. But it takes time. You know how it is. Yes, of course, they're very busy. Speaking of city elites, I know people who can be very helpful in getting some of the inside information. His expressions turned sour at a full tilt. Who? That man? I said people, but yes, that man would be particularly helpful in this matter. Scoffs brazenly and doesn't even try to hide it. Even at the first meeting with Mr. Henkel, there was some inexplicable tension between the two. Why you sent why are you sending people, Frankie? What do you mean? What do you mean? What am I sending? I'm just talking about, the limitations of women in the 1920s. Because, sexism. I mean, it's still, on now, but a little subtle, just like what they said in Barbie. How can you send people after that person, lol? Mm. I don't know. I guess my character's trying to be a little discreet. Even at the first meeting with Mr. Henkel, there was some inexplicable tension between the two. Theo said something about Mr. Henkel feeling off and always hated whenever I had to do something with him. Though it might be just jealousy in disguise. I mean, I could also be a man and he's just, you know. Either way, he loves his homies. That's the vibe I'm getting from Theodore. I'm right. Even if he's barely in the newspapers, he's most likely at the pinnacle of high society. And I don't think he'll mind if I ask him a few things about this. Of course, he's always got a soft spot for you. Hell, he'd probably carry a torch for you for a long time, judging by the way he follows you everywhere. Well, he happened to be interested in Faeology and has a lot of money to allow its development. Look at you, already to defend him. What are you to an item now? I might have steered this reunion right back to where a month ago by bringing up Mr. Henkel, but it was unnecessary to mention him. I don't know anybody else who would have that much information about high society. Besides, there was never really been anything if we did go to the fundraising events together from time to time. It was strictly business. Yet again, Theo seems to be lose his interest whenever we talk about Mr. Henkel. He's jealous. He's a jealous boy. He meets. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep making those jokes. You miss me. I don't have the time or the energy to argue with him. What should I do? Try to make him see reason, explain the truth about the relationship of Mr. Henkel. I feel like explaining more just makes you look guilty. Like, there's nothing going on. We are like this. But trying to make him see reason is also not a good thing. Like, trying to convince his values onto yours, your values onto his type of thing. Maybe just telling the truth would be better. Or not anything. Go to fundraising events and from time to time, but these are work. I've got to get the money for my research for somewhere. A relationship is strictly business. Gives me a dirty look. Sure, I believe you. He's jelly. No, he doesn't. Besides, what I do with him is none of your beeswax. His voice becomes even more irritating. That's right, it's not my concern. I'm a tough guy. Do whatever you want with him. I'm a tough guy, but I secretly have feelings for you. Just make sure he can keep his mouth shut about the case. I can't help but groan at the turn of events. I will. Well, we're on the subject of useful allies. You mentioned before about the blood that doesn't contain iron. I can take the blood sample of the university chemist. She's good at what she does. And she's from a rich family. She might know some of the victims of their family's case. I'll trust your judgment. I take it this is you agreeing to help with my case? That's right. There are lives at stake. He let out a soft smile, as though in quite agreement with what I said. Thank you. Well, if you think it'll be helpful, you can even ask the people you mentioned what they know using the evidence items. But the case files are for your eyes only. Understood. He has fallen silent somehow, leaving an uncomfortable hush in the air once more. Suddenly, a realization comes to mind. Does this mean you'd be willing to hear about fairies, about Faeology? That depends. If this was indeed fairies' doings, and if you're thorough with your investigation, you can provide solid theories on three things: the culprit, their methods of murder, and their motives. Okay, the person, the how they stabby stab, and why they stabby stab. Yes, who, how, and why, supported by evidence, of course. I'm sticking with the idea there's a logical explanation, an earthly one, for now. Fair enough. I'd wager that you. No, we have approximately 24 hours to get some answers, an answer that makes sense. I can feel the papers are getting close to getting the story. While you're investigating this lead, I'll look further into unusual drugs and poisons. How about this pheologist? You dare take on this challenge? Hmm. Do I? Accept the challenge. I'll help even without being challenged. I'll just go ahead on. I'll accept that challenge. Bring it on, detective. This brings a grin to his almost consistent brooding expression. Good. If you need anything from me, just ring me. Aye, sir. But you need to promise me that you'll not just hear me out, but also keep an open mind on fairy topics if I succeed in what you asked. I promise. But I can't promise not to scoff from time to time. It's good enough. I ought to get going. Maybe this will be an opportunity for you to increase Faeology's credibility in the eyes of the academics. Maybe. Seems like some detectives can be has been followed by the tiny parts of Faeology in the newspaper. Says you. The one who had to stop the daily paper subscription just because some detective kept getting in their headlines. How do you... Before I could finish, he had to walk towards the door and open it. See you tomorrow, around the same time. Okay. I hear the door closed. Hey, I exclaimed with a hint of frustration. After some thought, I realized that he must have noticed the missing newspaper on my desk and my assistant's. Reading the papers was part of my daily routine when we were together. I can only shake my head in disbelief. He hasn't changed much either. As reminiscing about the few months of our past relationship, us reveals themselves now that we're all alone. That was quite the reunion. It was quite the reunion indeed. He hasn't changed at all, has he? Yeah, I suppose. Although you don't have an obligation to help him. I know, but I've already agreed. Very well. Just don't overwork yourself. Yes, thank you, Oz. I find myself slowly drifting into thoughts. A victim, a manner of death, hardening into bone tissue. Could be one of the fairy curses. Ossification. Ossification is a matter of the process of where the bones start fusing together. That is a real thing. If only I could ask Oz whether a fairy was behind this and which one, but it's not that simple. Even if they are a long-time companion, fairies have their own rules about exchanging favors, and they're secretive about their own land too. A favor like this doesn't come cheap. At least I'm stocked up on milk, honey, and for some small requests. Speaking of requests, I should get started. I have burped. I'm so sorry. Mid sentence. On a reply to my patron letter. For some reason, he seems to be more insistent that this time that I come with him to the gala. I retrieve a paper and pen and I mumble to myself as I write. Dear Mr. Henkel, I hope your recent forays into the high society have proven more fruitful than they have been. Maybe it should be hyperbolic. Hmm. Hmm. I'm just buttering up this guy, right? So I'll go yes. Let's be hyperbolic. More fruitful than they have been in the centuries, you've been roaming amongst their lavish ranks. Believe it or not, I have been considering whether the merits of trying to impress the wealthiest folks of the city to outweigh the obvious indignities. You first brought the possibility of accompanying you to the annual Lions Gala a couple of months ago, and I'm still weighing my options. How do you want to play this? Be coy, be apologetic. Let's put like a bit sincerity. Let's be apologetic. I still don't have a definitive answer for you at the present, but I'm afraid I sincerely apologize for my indecisiveness. About Ruthie, I can't say I'm surprised to hear about her last flirtations with disaster. Since we were both toddlers, she frequently found herself in trouble. Her fiery personality certainly doesn't help her getting out of quarrels. I would have loved to telephone her and ask how she's doing, but we drifted apart for a long time. Nevertheless, I'm glad to hear that Theo was there to smooth things over for her. I've now arrived to the topic of Theo, or Detective Kraus, as my patrons refer. I suppose the query was meant to uncover whether I still care for Theo. How should I answer? Sometimes my thoughts wander back to him. He and I are old news. Should I be honest? Or should I butter him up? I feel like a tinge of honesty is better than. Yeah. I murmur under my breath as I write. As for Theo, I must be honest that sometimes my thoughts wander back to him. However, such thoughts are fleeting at best. I have not a single moment of regret over the decision to end it. Upon sightings of, I seal the letter with wax. I then turn towards my trusted Fae. Oz, can I please trouble you with something? You want me to deliver this lesson to the patron, don't you? Indeed, this is the time of the essence here. As always, please take care and not to catch anybody's attention. You'll see it by tomorrow morning, I'm sure. It would be my pleasure. Thank you, Oz. I'm off. I'll see you later today. I watch as Oz fleets out of my office so windows and vanish. Once the Fae is gone, I call my assistants to my office. Yes, Professor? Hold on 1 second. I rifle through the contents of the box. Carefully extract blood samples that Theo mentioned. They appear to be stored in the test tubes. Would you mind asking Dr. Rayford to analyze these blood samples? I'll do that, sure. As I hand the samples to her, I notice that she looks like she wants to say something. Over the 2 years we have been working together, I've picked up on a few of her tells. What is it, Minnie? How did it go with the detective? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, no, not at all. He's the same as always. There's lingering beef, of course, but nothing of the sorts managed to pull aside for something more important. He has now brought me a rather significant case that he suspects might have been a supernatural element, as hard as it was for him to admit it. Oh, good for him. Can't help but grin at her remark. I'm glad it didn't end in shouting match at least. Yes, me too. I'll deliver the blood samples now, Professor. Thank you, Minnie. Minnie hurries, and I'm all alone in my office again. Remembering the conversation about the case, I've suddenly engulfed an unexplainable eerie feelings. Should I start the investigation right away? Ooh, drag and drop the inventories at the desk. Okay. Select an item to record. Oh. However, the magnifying glass evidence information see the details. Use the black light to see invisible things. Ah, this is cool. We're getting to the detective parts. Read the encyclopedia to gain additional information. Press the button to end the investigation. Okay. That's records. Let's start with this one. Can I drag this? Okay. Tools. Can I open it? First victim of the crime scene. This is the first time I've encountered something that could be ossification. I feel sick to my stomach. No one deserves to die like this. Something odd with her fingers. Oh yeah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Odd with her fingers. Can I open this? I can't open it. I can do this. Fae factions. Blacklight. Ooh, okay. Let's see if we can find anything about ossifications. Blood hormones, emotional life force mechanism, drainage. This might be something because blood. Changeling! Ooh, changeling. I do this? Or like, do I click it? Uh, do I put them together or do I click them? Yes. Record. Tools. Help. Help. Okay. Drag and drop the items from the inventory in this. Select an item in the records, then press the icon to open it. Hover the magnifying glass above to access the information and see details. Use the black light to see invisible things. Read the encyclopedias to gain more information. Ah, okay. Okay, but this is a changeling. Notable incident changelings. There's an unconfirmed rumor that some fays like to capture humans and bring them into the fairyland for purposes such as forced reproduction, servitude, ritualized combat for their amusement, and so on. The fairies leave changelings behind the mask at their absence. A changeling is composed of several fae typicals from the parasitic type. Magical transformations to look almost like an abducted human. Due to the complexities of the fae, magic requires to create changelings. The enchantment almost always goes awry. Anomalies common among the changelings include an extra finger or an extra toe. Nearby heat conductors, such as small metallic objects, such as also been known to repel the warp, and magic creating changelings. Parasitic fairies, limited magic consistently with the need to feed off sources of energy, mostly gained from humans, such as blood, hormones, emotionals, and life force. However, the mechanisms and rates at which the drainage process occurs vary greatly. Okay. Okay, so let's put this back. And no, here. No. Okay, here and here. Ah. Hmm. Seems to be the second victim of crime scene. Her complexion is not quite pale and death of hue, far paler than should be possible, almost drained of color. Hmm. Something's odd with her fingers. One, two, three, four, five, six. Oh, yeah, you're right. Name Susan Moore. Manner of death refused to drink anything but her own blood. Time of death 11 a.m. Victim profile an affluent middle aged woman in the city. The victim's mother reported that the victim was suffering prolonged paranoid episodes in the days leading to her death. Specifically, the victim was acting erratic and saying strange things. Despite the manner of death, there is no signs of dehydration, hemochromatosis, changes of blood color, no traces of drugs or poisons. Blood type unknown, other blood related investigations are underway. Blood does not contain iron. Oh, these are one of the people that didn't have iron. Okay. Okay, so let's go back here. This one is not doing the thing that I wanted to do. It might be for like one of the things. Third victim of the crime scene. Her fingers seen corpses before. I've never liked this. There's another strange things about her fingers. This one is like dead fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also 6 fingers. Okay. Do I click here? Hang on. I feel like I'm missing something with the inspection. Or does it have to light up? Like here. And then here. And then I check this. Is there anything she was wearing? It doesn't flip. This is the only one that we read. Okay, let's put that back. Audrey Woodridge. Okay. This one's here and this one's here. Let's not get them mixed up. Oh. Edna Niblet. This one has this one. Plus the honors presence of Laius Gala, Saturday, 20th October. 8 o'clock in the evening, formal attire requests. Okay, is there anything here? Nothing here. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me take that out and put you back. I can't open the case files for some reason. Mary Hatcher. This is the fourth victim of the crime scene. What's up, detective? I'm trying to figure out how to open the case files. I don't know how. Poor girl. It's a cruel thing to see you've been sold so abruptly. Nothing about her. Anything? Okay, let's put this back. Put this back. What for final focal? Middle-aged woman with the colored brows of the victim. I guess this elderly man is shooting her father. This elderly woman is wearing a cardigan and is her mother, I suppose. The bespectacled man is perhaps her brother. Middle-aged woman with pearls is the victim. I guess the elderly man with the facial hair is her father. The elderly woman in the fur coat is her mother's, I suppose. The other man, what? Sorry? I didn't hear that. Say it again. Never seen a coin like this. So rare. Can we use one of these tools? Ooh, what's happening? It went purple. What does purple do? Here. Purple is scales of value. Beneath the backlight scribes magic, blue warrior magic. Appears blue warrior magic red, and a parasitic magic purple or violet. Was it purple or violet? It's more purple. Never seen this before. A parasitic fae. It failed to transform its magic. It has red on it. What's red? Parasitic fae is purple. What is red? Warrior magic is red. Okay. You go over here. Nothing here. Where's this one? I've seen this makeup powder somewhere recently. It's from Nectar Bell. This must have belonged to one of them, but which? Ooh. I wonder if this owner likes the box design and carrying around her in her pocket since I've already used it up. Perhaps the chemist has something interesting in sight since her family owns the brand. Excuse me, I burped it. Okay. Okay, you are now not a coin, so you go there. What about this one? Wedding ring seems to be made out of gold. Ooh, it also has like purple. Purple and a tinge of red. Imbued may reveal intricate details of certain complex spells. Okay. Okay. So we have like dark. I want to read these files. Why can't I read them? Yeah, let me put everything back. Except the files. Audrey Woodridge. Ah, there we go. Wait. Nope, it's still not doing the thing. Hang on. Audrey Woodridge. Can I open you? It would let me. Do I double click? I need more information. I'm a little confused. The scene photographs the first victim displayed her manner of death, hardening into the bone tissue, this phenomenon known as ossification. Seems something strange with the fingers. Strange with the fingers. Okay. Okay, wait. So if this is the case, So we get to read this, but we don't get to read these. Sige nga, wait, let's bring them all out. The ones that we haven't read yet. There we go. Edna Niblet, age 64, manner of death, gnawing her own finger down to the bone. Wow. Time of death around 10 a.m. Victim, a profile, an affluent middle-aged woman in the city. Police report, a friend of the victim reportedly she visited the victim's residence to drop off the investigations shortly prior to the victim's death. The friend also wanted to check the victim's well-being. She allegedly been acting strangely as a part of the party that night before. According to the friend, she witnessed an emotionally charged conversation between the victims with a young factory girl. However, the friend didn't think much of the interaction at the time. At the crime scene, the invitation card dropped by the victim were seen close to the victim's corpse and was taken in by evidence. No traces of the drugs or poisons, blood type unknown, other blood related investigations are underway. Blood does not contain iron. So this is case file 3. We get to read that. This one. There we go. Audrey Woodridge. This is a little finicky. I feel like if you just open the case file, that would be better. That's my little note on this. Manner of death, hardening of bone tissue. After from afar, the corpse looked like a carved wooden statue. Time of death around 1 p.m. They're all around like midnight or like in the afternoon. Is the time is not timing. An affluent middle-aged woman in the city. The victim reported hearing strange noises and seeing strange phenomena in the days immediately preceding her death. The interview officer suspected, due to the victim's strange behavior and involvement in the occult matters, no traces of drugs and poisons has been extracted. Further autopsy is still in progress due to the victim's manner of death. Woodridge. What a familiar name. Okay. There we go. Mary Hatcher, 19 years old. This one's young. Okay. Death from the shock due to the arsenic poisoning at time of death 6 p.m. A victim profile young girl factory. Despite not fitting the trend of the previous victim, she has been preliminary included in the case because she was never have heated conversations with the third victim shortly before the victim's death. The victim's father described her as not acting herself in the days before she passed. Shortly before her death, and the victims visited the police station. According to the interview officers, she seems to be at the brink of confessing something when a look of terror suddenly crossed her face and appeared to change her mind. She hurriedly left the station without saying anything, further interviewing the officers. Forensics reports prior to death, the victim suffered violent abdominal cramping, followed by diarrhea and vomiting, consist of the effects of the arsenic poisoning. Traces of said poison can be found in blood type A with the glass she drinks near time of death. Blood contains iron and other elements commonly found in human blood. Okay, so we finally got to read those. 1, 3, and 4. Then nothing here. Nectar Bell. Anything about the Fae? No. No. Okay, now let's go read this one. Some phaeologists have applied Darwin theory of natural selection to fake kind and putting them in the same genealogical lines of insects, especially in the Lepidoptera group, which includes moth and butterflies. This is supported by the similarities to each other. Beneath a special kind of black light, some species butterflies can glow by having a chemical known as phosphorus, which fairies also have. Okay. Nothing on the book. The similarities of Fae kind to insects as well as birds and others in the animal kingdom manifest in terms of the variance of fairies' magical abilities. One magical skill possessed by one of the Faes is transfiguration, which is similar to metamorphosis. Wielders transfigurative spells can make themselves a fellow Fae take on another form, including appearing human. Oh, okay. So we have two here that aren't people because they're changelings. These are like six fingers. Hang on, six fingers and six fingers here. This one, one, two, three. Tama ba? One, two, three, four, five, six. This one is also six fingers. Except this one looks like only she has five fingers. Then let's get the pictures here. This is the one who died. The one with the pearls. Looks like they only have five fingers. Okay. No one seems to look out of place, but I'll just leave the pictures here. Where'd it go? Okay. Where am I? Many high fays have heightened powers of suggestion throughout the emissions of toxins capable of causing hypnosis and illusions. Illusions, this might have been her cause of death. Although quite rare, some high fays can transform living beings into solid objects, such as stones or bone. This one. Another Fey magic is invisibility, which is similar to camouflage. There may be typical magic powers documented. Fey factions and conflict. There are two main factions of the High Fays, the Scribes and the Warriors. Scribes are known for defensive magic and intelligence. The Warriors are known for their power and the offensive magic. Meanwhile, the Low Fey factions comprise of Fays with limited parasitic magic. They are wildly maligned with species that like to consume human blood, hormones, and even souls. The history of Fae classes conflicts is not very well documented. It appears that there are quarrels between the factions, as there are certain levels of disdain for the other factions. However, disputes also occur between fairies and other factions. Nonetheless, both factions of high Faes deem parasitic and despicable low Faes due to the limited parasitic nature of their magic. All fairy kind seems to be weak against iron, although some small amount of iron, such as meat or blood, does not seem to ward off fairies. Historically, cold iron was often forged as weapons and used to repel fairy magic. The intricate use of iron, combined with the physics and chemistry, is applied to Faeologists to develop a special blacklight that distinguishes magical essence include in three main types of Fae. Okay, beneath the black light, scribe magic is blue. We didn't see any blue, but we see like reds. So that could be the warrior fairies, and the purples and violets could be the parasitic ones. Okay, scribe fairies. Scribe fairies high, capable of expressing benevolence and kindness that is similar to human kindness, and they tend to be friendlier than humans. However, this kind is only shown in forms of favorable exchanges, and they do not go out of their way to help other humans would. Scribe magic assists humans in condition. This is Oz. This is our fairy. For example, some scribe fays may use their magics to give blessings to humans, known very special favors, invisible marks, or sigils. Is there a sigil? I don't see one. The blessings can also be thorough through generations. Rumored Fae touch bloodlines have become wealthy, powerful throughout the decades. Okay, these ones are the Fays. This one is not a Fae. So we separate that. However, they may also use their magic to curse, sometimes even deadly, if they feel offended, insulted. Scribe fairies are also prone to pranks, mischief when they are bored. This might be a scribe fairy. warrior fairies, the fays in the warrior faction frequently resides in the groups and are territorial. They are protective of their troops and tend to be unfriendly towards outsiders, especially if they come from scribe factions or a human. They will smite anyone who interferes with their groups. Humans entering their territories, even if accidentally, may face elimination through the warrior's offensive magic. Although fairy warriors typically remain with their own kind, seldom venture beyond the boundaries of the fairy realm. They are also known as aggressive temperament and volatile disposition. Caution strongly advised when encountering interacting with those beings. I don't see any like other than the red, I don't see anything else from the warrior fairies. Parasitic fairies will limit magic, consistently need to feed off a source of energy, mostly drained from humans. Humans such as blood hormones, emotions, and life force. However, the mechanisms and rates at which these drains processes occur are greatly varied. This is the one we already read already about the changelings. Okay. Okay. Which one is this? Susan Moore. This one. This one. And then this one. Makeup. Any makeups? Is this one? No. This one? Sorry. Okay, let's look at our notes. Affluent middle age. No poisons or drugs. Hardening of bone tissues. Is that notable in any of the fairies? This is like high phase. Like powerful phase. So this might be like the scribe faction. Like they don't like the parasitic fairies, which are the changelings. No blood taints. Blood does not contain iron. Blood does not contain iron. But these are the changelings. All three of them are changelings. Who is the one wearing the ring? She was the one wearing the ring. And the ring is. This is the wedding ring. The ring has purple. So that's like the parasitic fairies. But it has the tinge of of a bit of red. But that could be just like pink. Right? Right? Right. I don't know. Let's see. Knock on the door makes up a glance at my desk. I realize the sun has set while absorbed in my investigation. Come in. My senses enters the room. Minerva. Dr. Rayford has arrived to drop off the blood sample and she wants to talk to you. Already? Yes. She's just out at the door. I must say, I'm pleasantly surprised at her work speed. Alright, send her in. Minnie nods. She returns to the reception area. Florence. Dr. Florence Rayford enters. It has been 3 years worked at the investigation, but she has proven her reliability more often than not. Good evening, Professor. Good evening, Doctor. Rayford hands over the blood samples. She also gives me her lab report. Here you go. Thank you. So, what have you found? The most peculiar thing that is that there's no iron in one of the blood samples. Say, is this very related? Her questions prompt me to ask myself to what extent of the case can I divulge to her. Thea did say I may ask the patron of her or for information using the evidence. Although she has knowledge of fairies and the curses, she can handle seeing crime scene photographs. As I return my thoughts, I notice her voice has taken a pitch. This is so exciting. Are you working with the police? Does this mean we'll get better credibility in the eyes of the public? Oh my, we're going to be the newspapers, aren't we? And not the usual corner spots, too. I can hardly contain myself. It appears she took a silence of my yes. It's good that she's excited about the possibility of the advancement for Faeology, but her cheerful disposition can sometimes be overstimulating. As if on cue, a knock on the door arrives to spare me. The specific sound is familiar, more familiar than my assistant's knock. Oscar. Oh, special delivery. Mr. Henkel hands are empty. And what pray might you be bringing it for me? Is it you? Are you the special delivery, Mr. Henkel? Flirting. If you wish to call me special, then I certainly won't stop you. But I did bring a huckleberry muffins for your office. Minerva was insistently enamored by their buttery scent. She's currently feasting on them. We can only hope she'll leave a muffin apiece for the rest of us. Oh, hello there, Florence. I didn't expect to see you in this office. Hello, Mr. Henkel. Fancy seeing you here. Although you do have a bit of a making of this office your sole stop on the campus. That's just because this is where all my money went. A well-spent investment, nonetheless. He makes a retort to Dr. Rayford, but throws a subtle smile into my direction. How cheeky. So, Florence, what has been occupying your time of late? She looks at me briefly, possibly wondering whether she could tell him about what she did for me. The usual matters, I suppose. I tried asking your father about you at the last soiree. However, he confessed you didn't have the faintest idea. You must tell me about your chemical research one of these days. The colorful pursuits of young academics thrill me to no end. You know I can't share that all that much, Mr. Henkel. Unless, of course, you find yourself in the position to become in the chemistry department's benefactor, then all their secrets are yours. Heh, more playful giggling escapes her lips. I'm afraid I'm all tapped out financially speaking. Oh, I'm not buying that one, not for a second. He's telling fibs, isn't he, Professor? Well, now, I certainly don't want to get into the middle of the money talking to the rich. I wish I had more information, Doctor. It would make a proposing for research much easier with a bit of delicate leverage naturally. Mr. Henkel laughed in amusement. I feel I should ask the reason here before this conversation takes an odd turn. On another note, Mr. Henkel, did you get my letter? Is that the real reason you dropped by? Upon recalling that, I asked Oz to insert the letter into the mailbox only in this afternoon. I'm going to retract these questions. Unexpectedly, though, he bows his head in assent. Your words have always had this immersive impact on me. Perhaps that is why you are such an effective educator. Whenever I encounter your written language, I long to hear it spoken post haste. Are you putting a spell on your letters by any chance? I think you're the one with all the spells, Mr. Henkel. Your muffins, for one, have always been successful in getting Minnie's guards down. Oh dear, you two are making me blush. I suppose it's time to take my leave and let you both be. I'm due to somewhere shortly anyhow. Oh no, that might not be necessary. I can't stay long either. Mr. Henkel lapses into the silence as he continues to staring into my eyes. Mm. It's difficult to maintain eye contact with him, but even harder to look away. I wonder what I should do. I ought to discuss the case, but both of them seem to be in a hurry. Should I tell Mr. Henkel to return another day since I need to have an important conversation with Dr. Rayford right away? Or should I dismiss the chemist and meet the patron now? There are benefits to either choice. Soliciting Dr. Rayford's opinion on the case may be a good idea. She could share them insights in chemistry inside the case. Her parents own successful companies that produces powdered makeup in the evidence. She would also know the social happenings among the wealthy elites. On the other hand, Mr. Henkel is also a viable candidate for an interview. His connections with high society knows no bounds. Everybody seems to have him one way or another. He might know things Dr. Rayford doesn't. Since he has been funding my research for a long time, he also are more familiar with the fairy topics. Whom should I interview? I think we should go with Dr. Rayford because she's the one who came in first and she has the one with the blood samples that we had to tested. I'm just saying. Dr. Rayford would mind staying a little longer. I'd like to hear your opinions about something. Dr. Rayford glances at me, then Mr. Hinkle, then back at me with a glimmer of mischief in her smile. Are you sure, Professor? I let out a resigned sigh. Sometimes it can't be quite difficult to deal with her teasing. Yes. When I address my patron once more, regretted colors my tone. Mr. Hanko, would you mind coming back another day? I have something crucial to discuss with the doctor at present. Of course, I understand your scientific pursuits precedes all. Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you for dropping off those muffins. He only replies with a smile. I'll see you soon. As soon as possible, I promise. Mr. Hanko and Dr. Rayford exchange brief goodbyes. My patron then departs. I'm alone with the chemist again. Doctor, I might need your help with further assistance regarding the blood samples and also something more pressing. So it's true, you are working with the police. I suppose Detective Krause consulted me this morning about the ongoing criminal case. Oh, I do sense an old flame flickering back to life. Your eyes are tricking you, Doctor. It has been ashes for a long time and now has changed. There's a hint of disbelief in her eyes, but I won't divulge in her playful teasing. There is more important matters at hand. I clear my throat. So, I would also like to ask you for information, as you might be acquainted with some of the victims of their friends and families. All right. I'd be happy to answer the questions you might have. Thank you. Although I do need you to sworn to secrecy on this. Of course. I'm adept at keeping secrets. You need not worry. Those samples I've analyzed are part of the evidence in this case, right? That's right. Let us begin. I'll tell her fundamentally facts of the case while she listens silently all the while. When I finish my summation, she has only one word to say to me. Interesting. Okay. She said that she could do with the makeup. Ah, yes, the most intriguing piece of evidence. It's weird, isn't it, that it doesn't contain iron at all, even though it looks like a human blood, not to mention the high percentage of phosphorus. Would you let me know if it ended up being a fairy at all? Only if I'm allowed. Is there any insight for the chemistry as to why there would be no iron in a red colored blood? Sadly, no, I'm puzzled myself. Uh, I found the traces of arsenic in this blood sample. Yes, that was reported in the forensics team too. One wonder who could have done such a thing to the poor girl. Actually, chemists do sell arsenic to common people to make their own weed killer and rat poison. I haven't done that in some time, not in the university's contract. Oh, it's so unbelievable when people like But I'm sure the detective has asked the henchman to collect all the purchases record from chemists all over the cities, don't you think? Okay. What about the ring? My, are you proposing to me, Professor? I'm afraid my heart still belongs to my late husband. Lady! I can hear sorrow seeping through her peppy voice. Uh, Quietly, I slipped the ring back into the box. Okay. Invitation. Nothing about the invitation. Hmm. I'll do my best to put all into details, although I must have missed regarding the curious blood sample. This is tomorrow's gala. I'll not be going. There's a opera. This opera is playing. I didn't know you're into opera, Doctor. My late husband and I used to go there for one of our date nights. Oh, that's cute. Sadness leaks through her eyes, though her smile stays bright. I hadn't had the faintest idea she'd be married before. Speaking of which, I spotted Detective Grouse to the Met during the last month's performance. He appeared to be enjoying the opera, accompanied by an attractive tall blonde woman. It was quite the unexpected sight. I never took him for an admirer of the opera. Well, that's a new one for me. Okay. Is there anything else? Office, desk. Oh, okay, I have more stuff. There's no sound to be heard. She stares at the photograph for a little while. I wonder if this is too much for her. Is this Mrs. Woodridge? It's a little too difficult to recognize her because of the well. She speaks with her unusual sunny lilt, which is quite surprising. I guess she's got a strong stomach. Yes, you're correct. What do you know of her? Everyone knows her family, and that's pretty sure. They're one of the richest in the city, the elites of the elite. According to their circle, consists only of selective people, such as your patron, I imagine. Oh, and their family likes to host charity events. Did you ever know her to dabble in the occult matters? Unfortunately, what I told you previously is all I know about her. If she did dabble, do you think maybe her manner of death is a result of the occult matters? It is certainly possible. Okay, then let's go with the victim's death first. It's more, she seems to recognize the victims quite fast. We've met once or twice at the clothing store and exchanged a few pleasantries. Occasionally, I would see her and her husband at various dinners, parties as well. They were quite a lovely couple. Oh, yes, I know her, although I can't seem to recall her name. Mrs. Niblet. That's right. I saw her quite often at the auction, only going for rare coins. As usual, the winning bid was hers. I know if some of those coins carried some sort of a curse, since they came from God knows where. Okay. You happen to know this girl? Unfortunately, no, I do not know her. Surprising that she seems unfazed with quite the gruesome photographs. I wonder if she's seen worse deaths because of my chemicals. Although even if I had seen worse, I doubt I would muster such a cheer. I don't know. I've met a lot of like doctors who have like a cheerful disposition. I've seen a lot of death. I mean, I was a mortician after all. Never realized the peculiar side of her. I am enjoying the music. Music is good. Family photograph photos. Ah, yes, it was everywhere in the papers when her father married the famous one and one of the most beautiful socialites. The other man here is Mrs. Woodridge's stepbrother. Do you know anything of these people? Aside from being fabulously wealthy and well known, not particularly. This is Mrs. Morris and her family. Could you tell me what you know of them?
Well, I've heard that when Mrs. Moore's biological parents passed away, she was adopted by her parents' trusted employees, from whom she received a lot of love. These employees couldn't have children, you see. Her biological parents left her substantial inheritance, which she received when she came of age. Then she married out of love to a wealthy entrepreneur, and then they were hand in hand wherever they went. It's a sad thing. Her luck seems to slip away when she needed it the most. Dr. Rayford seems to know more about the Moors than she lets on. While she sounds quite sympathetic, I can somehow sense a jealousy in her voice. Ooh. Wait, this is the picture I showed her, right? Point Susan Moore's second victim. It's this one. So she recognizes these ones. This one is the stepbrother. Let's show her the makeup first. My parents' greatest achievement. It's one of the things I wanted to ask you, Doctor. I don't know much about the makeup. How popular is the powder among high society? The powder has been the craze lately among the upper class since parents have successfully gotten Mary Pickford to do advertisements. Well, I'll be. Should we show her the fairy? I think we can. Can we? A dead bug. Is that part of the evidence? Okay, she has no idea what we're talking about. Okay. I have no further questions. I believe I have enough information for now. Is that so? Well, alright. Earlier you mentioned you had a prior arrangement, so I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for your time. You've been incredibly helpful. It's not a problem. Don't hesitate to reach out if you require anything else. I give her a brief nod. Dr. Rayford then departs from my office. I'm alone again, but not for long. My assistant pops into the office. Professor, I'm heading home soon. Is there anything else I can do to help? No, I'll be perfectly fine. I think I'll stay and work for a little bit longer. Okay, see you tomorrow, Professor. Have a safe trip home. Upon wishing me the same, Minnie leaves. Have some time until I wrap up the workday, head home to the office. Okay, what do we know? We can put this through a black light. There's red and purple. Purple is the parasitic one and red's the warrior one. I read somewhere that the most insects don't have iron in their blood. That is true. This one is the one with the arsenic. Arsenic, huh? This one has the glow. This one doesn't. So this is fairy blood. Whose blood is this? I forgot. Edna Niblet. This is her. And this is the one with the ring. This one became the fairy. This is Dr. Rayford's lab report on the blood samples. The content is quite similar to the forensics report, while the elements similar to found in human blood, such as phosphorus, carbohydrates, and some proteins, are found in the third victim's blood. It doesn't contain iron. Moreover, the amount of phosphorus found in the higher percentage than the human blood, making it possible for this to refer the blood of a fairy. Fourth victim's blood appeared to be normal human blood with iron present. Traces of arsenics are also found. Although there is some new information, I had not expected the report to be more detailed. Then again, I did ask her to finish it as soon as possible, and she delivered. Okay.
These are the new things. So this one is Niblet, right? Ina Niblet. Blacklight, the press sample, violet, and red. Ah, oh, okay, okay. Wait. So we do this one. Blacklight rings source mention a notable closeness of the victim's husband. Beneath the blacklight, the ring has most violet and red traces. I think I know. No, not this one. This one. This is a phase parasitic class as confirmed the violet traces visible beneath the black light also shows traces of red. So it might have been attacked by a warrior fairy? Or is part warrior fairy? This one might be part warrior fairy and parasitic fairy. These ones are both parasitic fairies. Okay. Okay. I think we're good. Should begin grading assignments or review the lectures I'm going to deliver Monday, or do anything productive of the realm of the professor duties. Instead, I find my attention straying from towards the office. I voice my frustration to good old Oz. They will probably arrive in any moment. Can't stop wondering whether my explanation will be enough for him. In the past, no sort of explanation ever seems to please him whenever it came to fairies. What should I do now? My voice cracks with concern.
This time he came to you bearing in mind the possibility of fairy involvement. He'd be a fool to if he discredits you soon.
My fairy companion's chirping because increasingly stern this time.
But you need to get yourself together. You must remain steadfast and strong when facing the detectives. Don't permit your voice to falter when presenting your findings.
I know I can't let myself unravel at this point. It's just unsolicited. He never solicited my opinion quite in this manner.
A professional insight, no less. Although the more reasons to be calm as you can be. Maintaining a composure is essential to delivering persuasive argument. But no matter what happens, at least you know you've tried. At the end of the day, he's the one who needs to solve the case.
You're right, of course you are. I'm not a detective, I'm simply a professor sharing my perspective. Thank you, Oz, for always talking to me off the ledge. Just then, somebody knocks at the door.
That's my cue to sail past your window ledge. Best of luck.
I whisper in a hurried goodbye to my fairy friend. I'll see you tonight, Oz. Once Oz has flown out, I directed my attention towards the door. Come in. My assistant marches in. Professor, you have a visitor. The detective? Minnie nods. All right, send him in. Hi, Captain. Minnie nods once again and walks out of the room. Theo paces around a little bit after strolling in. He appears quite distracted. He finally stops and opens his mouth. So, what have you learned? I take a deep breath. Here it goes. I will present my findings, perhaps sought after detectives of the police force. They investigate cases right where the crime scene unfolded. He agonizingly familiar with the grit and the grime of the city's darkest recesses. Meanwhile, as a professor, my expertise primarily revolves around the nebulous and the theoreticals. I must do my best, stay calm and collected, just as Oz suggested. I've read the case files. Victim's odd behavior shortly before death could be due to hypnotic spells from fairies. The fourth victim went to the police station before she said anything. It seems she saw something that scared her away. What if she saw something not human? And the manner of death? Interrupting me before I can finish. I have no time for assumptions. The papers telephoned our department this morning. Said that they found out about something about their deaths. So that's why he looked agitated. The chief is preparing a statement for tomorrow's regarding this, so we'll just cut to the chase. Is there fairy involvement? Yes. Yes, I'm certain of it. I can tell his interest has peaked.
However, I'd like to first lay out on the basics, since I'm pretty sure you've discarded the things I've told you in the past. He grumbled as if the admission of my statement. So far, we've identified three cases of fairies: warrior, scribe, and parasitic. Warriors have a strong offensive magic. Scribe magic tends to be defensive, and parasitic is, well, parasitic. We Faeologists have developed the tools of the black light to detect traces of Fey magic. It can even be detected through photographs if the magic is especially strong. The warrior magic glows red, scribe magic is blue, and parasitic magic shines purple. I found seemingly fairies of one specific class that are behind this. Which one's the culprit? Oh, um, parasitic. We didn't really see the scribes. They're of the parasitic class. What is the evidence? Makeup, third victim's blood sample, dead fae, the ring, photographs. I feel like the victim would be the strongest sample. How does that prove parasitic involvement? I slot the blood sample beneath the black light and shows the magic traces. You see it glows under the backlight. I can see the purple traces, but what about this red glow? I'm taking a moment to collect my thoughts. You're right, I must have missed it. What else you got? Ah, the ring glowed purple. Has a moment placed beneath the black light. You see a purple glow under the black light. What about the red glow right now? It's profoundly disappointed, lumping my throat. Clearly, you've been through your investigations. Either you're missing important things or you're not taking it seriously. I am taking it seriously. If I could just reinvestigate. It's hard to get the sentence out of my mouth. No words of mine could ease the way it seems now. Doesn't matter. We're running out of time. I couldn't find the proof of being unusual drugs or poisons either. Even the more atypical drugs don't use the bizarre hallucinations. No poisons could turn the whole body into hardened bones. Quiet accusations. Honestly, I can't believe this. You've dedicated many of years to study forensics, and this is all you show for it. Are you? I know you're clever, capable, competent, but you ought to consider changing your fields. You're not cut out for forensics. I feel like I'm starting to see red. I can't believe he's bringing up my profession this way. I know I messed up, but you've crossed the goddamn line. He knows I'm trying to my best given the limited time, but he is just hammering away. It hits me all over again how easy it for him to make me feel really small. I'm just laying down the facts. You're being mean. That's what you are. He says it nonchalantly, as if it doesn't affect his opinions of me. I can't do this anymore. My anger is beyond containment. I never want to see you again. Get out. Fine by me. I don't plan to ever coming back here anyhow. Upon picking up the box of evidence, Theo turns to leave. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. He slams it. I find myself striding restlessly in my room, seething in frustration. Perhaps this is for the best. After all the reasons I walked away, and it's all coming back to me. As I was studying my breath to calm down, I realized something. I haven't explained Dr. Redford's findings of the blood sample. How could it be fairy blood? And the significance of the scribe's sigil on the prominent families. She gave me additional information too on the victims as well as the popularity of the makeup. I didn't have a chance to tell him all that. Well, so be it. I'm not going to write him or telephone him. Perhaps I'll just write an anonymous letter to the homicide department. But first, I ought to finish the grading of the assignments that I neglected yesterday. It's been an hour and a half, and I forced myself to get back. I thought we were gonna have like a proper discussion, but he just gave me like two chances. Yet my anger has subsided. Then it strikes me. I'm no more angry than Theo than I am at myself. How did I fail this? Why wasn't I thorough enough? I was thorough enough, wasn't I? Because I think like the blood samples would be the best evidence because it grows red. Because the pictures, it just seems like, oh, they have 6 fingers. So that doesn't give him the right to talk to me like that. I bury my face in my hands and I realize I've merely been spinning in circles. Professor, is this a bad time? I looked up in her shock. When did you get in? I knocked and then waited for a minute. It then occurred to me that perhaps you didn't hear me. No, sorry. My mind is more than a little preoccupied. The detective has intensely brooding expression when he left. I figured the meeting didn't go well. I can stay longer if you need me to talk. Thanks, Minnie. I'm not sure about talking, but I could use some company. Of course, Professor. Would you like me to fetch us a bottle? Sure. Any preferences? Whichever bottle's the biggest, or whichever has the highest alcohol content. Bottle blues. Ending 6. There's multiple endings. Yay! We're done. Okay, so that was Death and Theology. So, uh, what do you guys think? I felt like I was a little betrayed. I didn't think that we were only gonna have two chances here, but that was my feeling. Like the blood samples was a good start to it. And I was like, oh, what about the red blood? I didn't know that that was gonna be a thing. Anyways, that was Death and Theology. This was developed by Mushroomallow. Uh, Death and Theology is basically a dark academia themed murder mystery. I feel like I'm going to play this in the future once it does come out. It incorporates mythical elements such as fairies and their magic and story and puzzles. Players can use investigation tools and evidence, interviews, and key characters to solve the case. There's also like choices where it could be like a romantic choice or not. But yeah, Mushroomallow is an indie studio based in Bandung, Indonesia. Some visual novels, games developed by the studio received awards and nominations. And nominations. Sorry, I am burping. But anyways, yeah, that was Death and Theology. If you're still here, thank you. But we will be looking for people to raid. I'm out of breath. That was a lot of like exposition. But yeah, that's I see Janice boys. It looks like he's doing another Buwan Ng Wika survey. Still here, still lurking. Yay! Yippee! Alright, so here is the raid message if you are not subbed, which is fine. If you are subbed, here is the sub raid message. We will be raiding Janice Boy. He is doing another Buwan Ng Wika celebration, just like Title Splash. That's how we actually got to see him. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow for the last stream for day 6. We will be playing. I forgot our bad ending. I actually remember this time. I didn't have to look. Our bad ending, which is a sapphic story. And you know how I am about sapphic women. Yeah. Thank you very much. And let's go. Bye bye. Bye bye now. Bye bye. Where is my. There we go. Yippee. Did I copy my raid message? I did not. Yippee. My voice hurts. I think my throat hurts. Eh.